Hey everyone. Alright, so going off the last video that you probably saw, maybe, I was talking about what the plans are moving forward with my Doom 2 level, and I have decided to basically take the plunge and add the 2 additional areas to fully support the level to the fullest amount. Oh god. So this is basically going to be really taxing, but it's going to be a lot of work and it's going to be really hardcore. But I think I can do it. So the sections that I'm going to add and the stuff that I have in mind for these areas, I'll go ahead and get started on building this section first, and then I'll have to figure out how I'm going to do this section back here, which is basically instead of this building leading to the exit, it's no longer an exit switch. It's actually just going to be like a bridge, and you basically go up stairs and now you go across a big bridge, and then there's a big crazy area back here, and you can kind of see things from a distance all the way back here. You can't even see this far in the editor, but you'll be able to see pretty damn far in this. Yeah, I might even have a section where you're like in this kind of area and there's a fight or something. Well, anyway, this is mostly just going to lead up to a section area that's probably going to be something like a Dead Simple style battle, something along those lines where it's like the whole level's basically trying to kill you, and it's a finale with a cyber demon at the end, or whatever I decide to throw at the player. Now this section down here is a continuation. Well, it'll follow a lot in this theme, but it's also going to be a little bit more bright and green. So I'm probably going to have to kind of explore things. So I came up with some interesting ideas. It's definitely going to be like, moody, dark areas with boxes and things of that nature. It's definitely going to be a techie area that feels kind of like a base, but there's also I'm actually kind of doing sort of like an arboretum or an atrium of some sort, where it's like there are sections that are just cordoned off, and there's just like grass and rock and stuff like that. I kind of did that in the first level of No Rest for the Living, but it would this on in this case it's going to be a little bit more than that. And this area is where you collect key cards. This area is just a final battle, so there's no need for skull keys or key cards or anything like that. So I don't have to worry too much about that. But yeah, down here you collect key cards, and in this build in GZ Doom, you can get skull keys and you can get key cards. So I just have to make sure that all of the areas up here require skull keys instead of key cards. So with that said, you'll probably just see me just getting started on this section. I want this section to actually start off the same way, so I might actually have you in the same exact elevator, but when the doors open up, you're going to be looking into a completely different space. And I want to have outdoors, and I want to be using this sky instead of the hell sky. So somewhere around this point, once you actually get to around this area, I'm actually going to swap the sky. And if you go back, I swap back to the other sky. And also too, while you're here, I want you to be looking at white rocky mountains. So like you're like on the edge of a cliff or something. Probably not going to go that far, but basically you're looking at this mountain, and then when you get through to it, going through like a base area, now you're in this section, which is more red, darker, scarier, tougher fights, things of that nature. So I'm thinking maybe this section down here will have two scripted fights, and mostly just kind of exploration, grabbing keys, and regular directions. Nothing terribly fancy. The fights obviously are probably going to have to ramp up a little bit, even though it's supposed to be early on. I'm not going to go too easy on the player. Yeah, I'll have to figure out the pacing. But if one of the criticisms of the level was that it was tiresome to do this part just so that you can get to the harder parts, then adding this section down here is going to make that a lot worse. The thing is that I don't want this to be viewed as one level. I want it to be viewed as an entire episode, and that's the entire point of this. So I can actually do something where I built an entire episode myself, and I made it one level that you can beat in one sitting. And to me, that is the goal. And it doesn't quite feel like a full episode just yet. Alright, I'm going to get started.